Russia has doubled down on its campaign to capture the eastern Ukrainian city of Avdiivka during the 88th week of their war. This appears to have been a repeat of the year-long campaign to capture nearby Bakhmut, which fell in May. As at Bakhmut, Russian tactics consisted of waves of infantry attacks that Ukrainian commanders thought would soon become denser, and as at Bakhmut, Russian forces suffered heavy losses in both men and equipment. The Russian military is also stepping up efforts to take back the initiative elsewhere on the Eastern Front. Although attacks in the south have stalled for weeks, Ukrainian forces have regularly launched successful attacks on Russian positions on the southern flank. The ongoing fighting around Avdiivka provides a glimpse of what a longer attritional war might look like as the counteroffensive reaches its peak, and the increasing human price that Ukraine must pay to liberate each new settlement, each new trench, and each new kilometer of its territory. A video shows that Ukrainian Armed Forces fighters successfully repulsed an attack by an armored column of Russian invaders against our positions on the left bank of the Dnieper in the Kherson region, destroying and damaging 4 of the 5 armored personnel carriers with landing troops taking part in them. The 5th armored personnel carrier managed to escape intact. This was announced by Magura, the company commander of the Magura Bird assault drone complex of the 59th Separate Motorized Infantry Brigade on his Telegram and YouTube channels. He released a long video edited from footage captured by his drone. Blogger Necromancer made a montage, leaving in a short video the impression of an enemy armored personnel carrier on the road. Another video also shows fighters of the 47th Separate Mechanized Brigade, Magura, of the Ukrainian Armed Forces destroy an armored assault column with a landing party of Russian invaders north of Avdiivka. The column consisted of at least 12 tanks and wheeled armored personnel carriers. While approaching the deployment zone, our defenders came under direct fire from weapons unknown to us on 2 tanks and 2 armored personnel carriers with a landing party. After a powerful explosion, most of the remaining cars stopped. However, 1 tank and 1 armored personnel carrier ran across the field towards our position, firing turret guns, and the armored personnel carrier followed the tank's trail. Meanwhile, the Russians suffered heavy losses in a failed armored attack near the eastern town of Vuhledar. At least 10 tanks, troops, and combat vehicles were confirmed to have been destroyed by Ukraine east of the village of Mikilsk, according to Ukrainian military bloggers. Responding to the attack, President Volodymyr Zelensky said, "There was an enemy attempt to advance towards Vuhledar, but our soldiers stopped it, inflicting heavy losses on the enemy, dozens of vehicles, many dead and wounded." Vuhledar, a Ukrainian-held stronghold at a strategic crossroads between the eastern and southern front lines, has seen some of the bloodiest fighting in the 20-month full-scale war. Soldiers of Ukraine's Tavria Operational Strategic Group also destroyed a Russian Su-25 attack aircraft. Commander Oleksandr Tarnavsky said Russian forces carried out 14 airstrikes, carried out 30 firefights, and carried out 959 artillery strikes towards Tavria over the past day. Over the past day, missile and artillery units assigned to the Tavria group completed 1,068 firing missions, he added. On the other hand, Russian troops continued to make gains along the Kupiansk-Spetov-Kreminna line on Thursday, claimed Russian bloggers, confirmed by the Institute for the Study of War. Weather conditions for the battle were better than expected this year, bloggers said. Geolocation records published on Thursday showed that Russian troops were advancing west of Orlyanka, 22 kilometers east of Kupiansk. A Kremlin-affiliated blogger said that Russian troops captured new positions near Petropavlivka, 7 kilometers east of Kupiansk, and Sinkivka, 9 kilometers northeast of Kupiansk, and continued fighting in the Kupiansk region itself. The General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces denied that Russian units unsuccessfully attacked near Sinkivka, Petropavlivka, and Ivanivka, 20 kilometers southeast of Kupiansk, and did not carry out any attacks near Kreminna. One of the most active fronts in this autumn's war, Avdiivka saw no increase in fighting on its outskirts on Thursday. Ukrainian commanders believe it will be the calm before the storm when more Russian reinforcements arrive. Russian troops continued to attack near the strategically important city on Thursday, but there were no definite results. The General Staff reported that its forces continued to resist Russian attacks near Avdiivka and near Shevern and Tonink. Meanwhile, Ukrainian Group of Forces Tavriisk spokesman Colonel Alexander Stupun reported that Moscow's group was attacking mostly with small infantry groups and assumed that the slowed tempo of Russian operations near Avdiivka meant enemy forces were regrouping and waiting for reinforcements. Vostok commander Alexander Khodakovsky stated that the Vostok Foundation raises funds for a program that seeks to create and commercialize cheap but long-acting and effective loitering munitions. Additionally, a Russian military blogger praised the province around the Russian city of Perm for having 22 defense industry companies that managed to increase defense order completion by 2.5-fold, adding about 9,000 employees by 2023. Ukraine's commander-in-chief has admitted there has been little progress in Ukraine's 5-month counteroffensive to retake Russian-occupied territory. General Valery Zaluzny of Ukraine likened the current conflict situation to World War I, where fighting often took place over several miles of territory at the expense of large numbers of people. There will most likely not be a profound and beautiful breakthrough, he told The Economist magazine in an interview published on Thursday.